Last night, the Captain Marvel trailer dropped, and I spent most of the night looking it over frame by frame. In this video, we're going to break it all down, guys. Lots of cool clues in there. This is the Nerdy News Rundown. Let's get you filled in. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Now, before we get into this breakdown, I need to shout out Kevin Langley, who got the nerd card question correct in the news show from yesterday. You definitely know your stuff when it comes to Marvel Comics, so shout out to you, Kevin, and we'll do another nerd card question at the end of this video. Oh yeah, and real quick, I need to apologize. I tried to do this video last night as a bonus video. The file got all messed up during my edit, and I just thought, yeah, well, I'll just save it for the show tomorrow. Next time, I might just do a live stream. I know a lot of people voted on the poll yesterday. They just wanted a deep dive. That's what this will be, but maybe we should have done the live stream last night and then broke it down on the show today. I don't know. Maybe that's what we're going to do next time. So let's break this thing down. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in this trailer, a lot of hints at what might be happening in the movie, some really cool things that we can speculate on. So it starts off with Sam Jackson doing some exposition, talking about how the Skrulls are the bad guys, the Kree are the good guys, and they're these elite noble warriors, right? And we get this shot, of course, in the train where she's punching the old lady. The old lady's a Skrull. I think it was pretty cool that they picked up off of this from the last trailer, and they start with Kree Skrull explanation. So this is something I talked about on the show yesterday. I really wanted more Kree and more Skrull. We definitely got that in this trailer. We then get some shots of the Star Force, which is of course the elite group of warriors that she hangs out with when she's hanging out with the Kree, and then we get the Marvel logo. Now after this, we get a series of shots all focusing on this event, which from here on out we're going to call The Crash. Now, The Crash is a very important event to the movie, and I think we actually see different versions of it in this trailer, but we'll get into that in just a second. Now, this first version of The Crash has Carol in her uniform being blasted back. We obviously think this is some kind of a spacecraft from Earth. A Skrull shows up, which we think might be Talos, might be Ben Mendelsohn's character himself. But either way, we get this really cool dialogue about how her life started when it almost ended. They found her, they saved her. This is a pink skin that is explaining this all to Carol. Now, a lot of people think that this character is going to be the Supreme Intelligence. The Supreme Intelligence is the leader of the Kree. It is this being that houses all the memories of past important Kree, and so it's this literal just combination of supreme intelligences. And we kind of just get this vibe from like what is going on in this room. This could even be sort of a digital representation of the mind of this character. Either way, I think this is the Supreme Intelligence. And the Supreme Intelligence is explaining to Carol that they made her stronger. They made her one of them, that she would live longer, be, more awesome and badass. We get a couple cool shots of her using the blasts in the Mohawk. We then get a combination of shots and dialogue that paint a picture of Carol Danvers having all of these memories of Earth. This is something that was in the very first trailer. There's a lot of mystery here. Like, did she have a life on Earth? Was she an Earthling first and then sort of became a Skrull? What are the memories of that place? We then, of course, see this dog tag. And what's very interesting is due to some Funko Pop leaks, we know that Carol Danvers is known as Vers in Kree. And this is because they only have half of her dog tags, which is the other half of Carol Danvers. You get it? That's what they're going to call her. She finds the other part of it on Earth. It's a cool mystery. She also explains that whatever happened to her a long time ago is very important to understanding the overall conflict between the Kree and the Skrull. I think that's pretty neat. We then get some other shots, and we get Ben Mendelsohn trying to ask her, do you want to know what you really are? And then, very important, we see this shot of her getting manipulated by these mind energy waves, and there is a Skrull in this shot, maybe even Talos himself. The trailer then ends with Carol Danvers wreaking absolute havoc in the Captain Marvel costume, being a badass. I thought these shots were amazing. Very, very cool. You get a back shot of Ronan as she's just flying around blowing stuff up. There's dialogue talking about how this war is just the beginning. It's going to expand. But Carol says, no, I will not fight your war. I'm going to end your war. And some people pointed out that this shot of her saying that and going Super Saiyan into the binary form that we know she's going to get in this film has a similar background to the shots that we first see her talking to the Supreme Intelligence. So it's possible she goes all the way back to the Kree and messes up the Supreme Intelligence, who could actually end up being a villain in the movie. And so there's a number of different things that could be going on here. Again, it all has to do with this crash. Whatever happened during the crash is very, very integral to the plot and to the conflict between the Kree and the Skrull. Now, what I think is happening is this, that Carol was either a half-Skrull human hybrid already on Earth, sort of planted by the Kree secretly. This other Kree comes to her knowing that she can be a vestige for this incredible power, this weapon. And perhaps this is the Captain Marvel character that comes down and grants this power to Carol Danvers. Then Ben Mendelsohn's Talos character and the Jude Law character, who we know now is not going to be Captain Marvel or Eric Larson, but instead is going to be a character known as Jan Rog. I think he and the Ben Mendelsohn character could be in cahoots, and they could be trying to do their own thing and get this weapon that I think is placed into Carol Danvers. Another option is that Carol Danvers is completely human, and whatever's happening with the Kree is all having to do with this nefarious Jude Law character, this Von Rog character who's trying to take the weapon from perhaps this Eric Larson or this version of Marvel. Marvel crashes to Earth, and much like in the Green Lantern film, just passes his power onto another. Now, the Jude Law character could be trying to get this weapon. Perhaps the Skrulls trying to get this weapon as well. And this shot we get of Carol having her mind manipulated with a Skrull present could be the uncovering of her actual human memories. And this is to get her to come to Earth and understand that the Kree are actually not the good guys in this movie. And the reason I really like this theory is because it starts off talking about how the Skrulls are the bad guys and the Kree are the good guys. You get that exposition in this trailer. And what if that's like what we're made to believe, but it's not true at all? I mean, consider a couple of different things here. We know the Kree were up to no good, doing some bad things around the galaxy. You see this in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, but you also see it in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, where Ronan the Accuser is literally an extremist, almost type of a terrorist kind of a guy when it comes to the Kree. So maybe Carol, completely human, is gifted this weapon by a good Kree. Then Jude Law, a bad Kree, takes her, erases her memory, and tries to get her to just be the weapon they need to win the war against the Skrull. The Skrull get a hold of Carol somehow and supplant those real memories or take away the fake memories so that then she figures out that she's human and turns against the Kree. Option number 3, she's a Skrull. And I know a lot of people are running with this online. That would be absolutely crazy. A big change from what we know in the comics. There's a little bit of precedence for it. There was a Captain Marvel Skrull or a Marvel Skrull that thought he was the real deal, so maybe they're going that way. That would be really, really ballsy for them to do, to make her either a Skrull or a half Skrull on Earth. Either way, the identity of what and who Carol Danvers actually is the center of the mystery. It's the big MacGuffin for the film. I believe she has this power, this absurd level of power that was gifted to her either on purpose or on accident. That is why the Jude Law character is using her. That is why the Skrull want to use her as well. So those are the 3 big options for what the crash actually was and what Carol Danvers actually is. Now, the trailer ends with a little bit of comedy. Nick Fury playing with Carol Danvers' cat. Now, in the comics, this cat is pretty iconic. They changed the name of the cat to Goose in this version, which is pretty cool. A call to her piloting and to Top Gun, the classic ace pilot movie. And that's pretty much it. We get the trailer ended there, and I thought this trailer was much, much better than the first trailer. It paints a pretty cool picture of what's going on with the Kree and the Skrull. It sets up the mystery of the crash and who and what Carol could actually be and why that's so important. So I think that this trailer much more successful than the first trailer. I did think that Brie Larson was still a little bit flat in the performance. I'm a little worried about this in the film, but I don't know. There was at least a little bit more emotion and a little bit more flavor in some of the lines she delivered in this trailer. But that is the news, guys. Captain Marvel trailer is here. A lot of cool mystery surrounding it. I want to know what you think about some of the cool things that were in this trailer. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, now let's check that nerd card before we get out of here. I want to know, what is the name of Carol Danvers' cat in the comic books? As I said before, they changed the name for the movie, and the name in the comics is really cool. It actually has a little bit to do with Star Wars. That's a little hint for you. So what is the name of her cat in the comic books? Answer that question in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.